Hey besties, welcome back to another episode of the Baddie Besties podcast. I'm your host, Elisa.
And I'm your co-host, Samira, aka Samsky. And today we have a powerhouse woman that I am so excited to introduce. But before I do so, I'm going to pretty much introduce our Hey Barbie series. If you have not listened to Hey Barbie yet, just fun facts. Barbie had over 250 jobs dating back to 1959. Yes, you heard it right, baby. Barbie has been booked and busy. She was an astronaut, a president, a mayor, a policewoman, and now today Barbie is a powerhouse PR, a good friend, a God-ordained team member
Baddie
Besties. I'm so blessed to introduce Victoria Tuttle.
Thank you both.
Girl.
It feels so weird being on this side of the camera. Usually I'm on the other side. But
Yes,
this
and
is amazing.
We need to hear, like, how is that like, right?
Yes.
But before I get into this, I got to really introduce her. I got to toot her horn a little bit, right?
This girl right here.
Let
them know.
Yeah, let them know. She's your new favorite PR powerhouse, Victoria Tuttle, the founder of the Vision to the TPR and the magic behind Baddie Besties. You know, a lot of restaurants in Boston. I'm not going to name drop too many, but some of your favorites like Playwright, right? You know, so a lot of different hospitality groups. She is really a pave maker, a trailblazer that you guys might not know, honey. She's only 25 years young and just killing the game.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yes. So
Thank you.
she turns any vision into, honestly, I would say magic. But with that
That's
being
the goal.
she's done it, honey. In the less than 2 months, she has done it. But we'll get into that, how she has blessed us and we have seen Baddie Besties essentially transform. But we're going to get into our first segment here, PR 101, the realty about it, right? Because it's a very, I would say, flashy career for a lot of young woman or a lot of just like coming out of college. It sounds like the best job to have, right? It's a pretty cool job. You get to go to cool places. You're bringing these businesses to life. But
Absolutely.
I wanted to ask you, what exactly is public relations to you?
Yeah.
And just like, what would you shape maybe any young girl that's watching today that maybe wants to start, maybe an advice for them?
Okay. Yes. So it's so funny. A lot of people, either they know PR or they don't know it. My father is one of those people. He's like going around telling people like, oh, my daughter does HR. And I'm like, no, different things.
That's
but
fair.
To start off, I like to say like PR is building positive relationships for a brand. And that is with the public, that is with the media, that's with the stakeholders. And, you know, that's with like your employees. Like people forget that like people work for you. And if they're not happy, they're going around telling people they're not happy. So it's really just like maintaining those positive relationships with those key people.
Okay.
Awesome.
So I love that. What do you feel like people get right versus wrong about PR? You know, like the misconceptions.
Yeah. I mean, I would say for the right thing in PR is probably, you know, landing in, you know, you can get landed in Vogue, but and that's one big thing. But really, it can end up being just like making a small relationship with someone who can help you out at the end of the road. You know, you don't know who you're going to meet, and making those relationships from the get-go is like really important.
Yeah. I think PR can also seem like really with the glam side of things, right? Like
Yeah.
you said, Vogue. So
Yes.
sometimes people may
glitz
buy
and
into this
glamour.
idea that that's the only thing it is, but really
Right.
what comes down to being really great at PR is being able to build relationships and connect with people, right?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
have that genuine authenticity to it
Yes.
as well, right?
Absolutely.
I saw this reel where this girl, it's a small business, a woman-owned business. She had wrote, like, if you saw the trend, it was like, she doesn't know it yet, but she goes, she doesn't know it yet. She spent like thousands of dollars for, I don't know if you saw it because it went
Yes.
viral. She spent thousands of dollars for a PR event to invite all these influencers and like didn't get any sales.
Yes.
So like,
Yes.
what is, I would kind of hear your give and take on that, like businesses that will maybe spend like pour money into like PR
Yes.
events,
Right.
thinking they're going to see a return on their investment, and just like, what does that mean on your side of things?
Absolutely. I think that's like the biggest risk take. I think a lot of people think is like, oh, when you do PR, I want instant results. And I think we've had that conversation where it's like, it's going to take some time.
Yeah.
And starting off when I graduated college, even for myself, like building my reputation out in Boston, I was like, oh, this isn't easy. Like, this is going to take some time, and meeting the right people and connecting with the media and getting my name out there was like hard, very hard. And I think it's the same thing when you are doing PR for a business, right? Like, it's not going to be an instant gratification. And I think it's just doing a strategic plan and setting goals where it's like, okay, you know, in the first month, what can we achieve? Type of the way you like talk and with that.
Okay.
That's really insightful, because a lot of businesses, I mean, okay, like you said, we had this conversation too, and you set the expectations really early on.
Early on.
They're expecting, hey, I need this, this, and this to happen. But no, you have to be here for the long game. And to be honest, when you're building a community, when you're building a client base, you know, you got to build that relationship. Like, why should they trust you?
Exactly.
So I think like that's a really good thing.
You have to prove
that
yourself, right? And you have to prove your worth and your network too. Like, if you are out here just like being like, oh, I can get you here and here. It's like, no, I have this entire list of people where I can connect you with. Whether that is media, whether that's with like a restaurant, whether that's with a CEO, you never know who you're going to need when it comes to building a brand in PR.
Wow. Yeah. So, as mentioned, PR is a dream job for a lot of college grads. What do people get right and maybe wrong about the PR career?
Yes. I think what people get right is, like you guys have just mentioned, the glamour side of it.
So that's real,
That's real. It's real. It's a lot of fun. All my friends text me every single day, and they're like, I want your job. Like, I love what you're doing. I see what you do. And I'm like, yeah, I have fun with it. Absolutely. And a lot of girls in college do reach out to me, and they're like, can you give some advice, or do you know any internships? And it makes my heart so happy that this profession is still going on and honestly being well received, and people want to be in PR, which makes me so happy. But the side that they probably need to either learn or don't really see is like the struggles, right? Like I mentioned, when I first graduated from Quinnipiac University, shout out QU, go Bobcats. I landed my first job in PR, and I walked in and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm landing my company in X, Y, and Z, papers, new magazines, whatever it is. And it didn't happen. Like my first 6 months, nothing happened. And I was like, oh my God, like they're going to fire me. Like I'm done. That's it. You know, but like really, again, the long game. It's the long game. So I told myself, like, I'm getting on LinkedIn and I am connecting with everyone that I know in the city of Boston that I can and make that solid relationship.
I feel like PR sounds like, you know, the quote, like your net worth is your net worth. I feel like that's literally to a really big
PR.
part of what you do. And like, I guess any advice for women that are maybe struggling with networking, that, you know, they're not that comfortable with it. I know that was a really big thing, especially during COVID. There's Zoom, or like, just what advice would you have? Because you go into spaces and you own them, right?
Thank
so,
you.
of course. I mean, it's also your job.
It is my job. But I would say there's so many networking tools out there, right? You can get on LinkedIn. You can join, here in the city of Boston, they provide so many women networking events, business networking events. Never say no. Always go to something. You're gonna be busy in PR, so might as well just like keep it rolling, right? So like any events, if your friends like, oh, my dad's business is hosting a summit, go, right? Like I would just always say yes to any events or any opportunity to network with people. It's really, really important in your young 20s, starting off in PR.
I love that. So what's your advice for the shy girlies who got the eye on a dream, child, and they're like, I want to go to these events, but I don't want to go alone. Maybe they feel like they need their friend to come with them, but maybe their friend is busy that day. What's your advice for those girls?
Honestly, because you would never know this, but like sometimes I do get a little nervous when I'm entering a room and I'm like, oh, I'm the only one here. What do I do? Right? So really, I think for me is building up that confidence, right? I think we have an advantage at being young in your profession where you can walk into a room and say, hi, I'm so-and-so, and I'm new here. I'm new to PR. I'm new to whatever. It might not even be PR. Whatever it may be. And I think people hear that and they're like, oh my God, like, so nice to meet you. Like, love to hear more. What are you looking for? Or they like to tell about themselves. I always realize that. Like, people love talking about themselves. So ask the questions.
What we learned too, just like being around different pave makers, and we recently were at the Power of the Women Summit, that a lot of women that are established, they want to pay it forward.
Oh,
they exactly.
do.
So
Yes.
when you are new and you are willing to be open, you're willing to learn, like, if you generally take 5 minutes out of your day to message somebody off LinkedIn, or like you go to the summit, 9 out of 10 of the tries, they will generally want to give advice or give you the 10 to 15 minutes to pick their brain. Like, I would say just shoot your shot, honey.
Shoot your shot. It's okay to be vulnerable, and especially early on in your career, really. And I think there's so many amazing people out there who just want to help and guide you the right way. But trust your gut with that too.
Oh, that's good. Women's intuition, girls.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
you know.
Yes.
But maybe we need to get into that then a little bit. I want to decipher that a little bit. Maybe what are some things for the ladies, the woman, since you said trust their gut, maybe there's some maybe red flags or things that when they are networking or meeting people, what do you think, maybe how should they decipher if that person is for them and maybe want to help them?
I would say, I would say probably, like, what are their intentions? Like, what are the questions that they're asking you? I realized when I was living out in LA, it was like, how many followers do you have? Or what can you offer me? And I'm like, I've got 2,000 followers on Instagram, and right now, just my skills. Like, I don't really have much to offer. So I'm like, that's an interest.
You have so much to offer. But I know what you mean.
you know
like,
what I mean?
What
Like,
they're looking for. Yeah.
Why do you
Why did
care
you
how
even
many
ask
followers
that?
I have?
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if someone is just, like, talking to you and wanting to get to know you and asking you the right questions, like, what are your interests? Like, how can I help you grow? My eyes wide open. I'm like, oh, wow, you actually are interested in me and you want to learn more about me. And that's where I gravitate towards.
Wow.
Yeah. I feel like you can feel the vibes if you walk into a room and you, like you said, ask questions, right? And then also just be a girl's girl and trust there's other girls in the room.
Yes, absolutely. Like, be a girl's girl. You see this young professional walking into a room and you can see that she's maybe a little standoffish, a little uncomfortable, reading her body language. Go up to her and say hello, please.
Yeah.
Please do it.
And they'll be surprised how they'll make that person's day as well.
It would. It absolutely would.
Yeah. I gotta ask you really quick though.
Yes.
I need to rewind us. Rewind us a little bit. I wonder is there an inspiration? Like, do you have a PR inspiration? Where did this come from, girl?
Okay. Samantha Jones, Sex in the City.
Oh, Sex in the City.
Love you some Sam.
OMG.
I probably shouldn't have been watching this at the age that I was. I would say like 12, 13 years old. It would be on the TV. Like E! News would like, that channel would always have those like on repeat. And I just remember Samantha Jones being an icon. Like I was like, I want to be her. Still is. I want to be here someday. And like, I just loved like her. She would always have like the cool connects, right? Like Carrie would need to go to the bar. Oh, don't worry, honey, I'm getting you into that bar. Like I was like, how did she get her?
She
in
got
there?
pulled. She got clout.
Seriously, I was like, I want to be Samantha Jones. And like now, like I'm like, oh my God, I'm starting to understand like why she was so important the way she was in that show. And I'm like, it's so exciting.
You're like, I'm becoming Samantha Jones. I am Samantha Jones. No, you're Victoria Tuttle. But I love that. I love that inspo.
Yeah, I would say her. Like, and I have a lot of other mentors that I've been so blessed to meet here in the city of Boston as well that are doing amazing in PR and have given me so many tips.
Yeah.
So many. So I'm so blessed.
Shout out to them.
Yes,
to them.
they know who they are.
Yes. So, really to kind of deep dive here too, because the journey, it's not a linear path. We know you've had several like first jobs, internships. I'm curious to hear what did they teach you? How do they shape your career today?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I've done a lot of opportunities. I think one that I'm going to start off with is when I was in college, one of my professors, she had her own like women's nonprofit. And I was just in class and she was asking us to kind of create like a PR strategy. And so I made one for her nonprofit. I went up to her, I was like, can I do one for you? And she was like, I would love that. Like, I need it. I'm like, okay. And so I did one for the class, and then it turned into her being like, can you do this for me actually in real life? And I was like, absolutely.
No.
And it was during COVID. Yeah, it was during COVID. And I helped just like launch her nonprofit, which would help younger girls. And we did some events, and I kind of helped her like plan those around in the state of Connecticut and everything like that. So that kind of launched me, right? Got some experience planning and strategically planning. And then COVID hit, and that was like not ideal.
Oh my
Not
gosh,
ideal.
tell us.
And I was home, and I was like, everyone's home right now. I'm a junior, gonna be a senior. I need to build my resume. How am I gonna do that, right? And so my dad lost his job during COVID as well. And at that point in his life, right, I would think at that time he was 60, and he was like, I don't wanna, what am I gonna do? And I said, why don't you start your own business and I'm gonna help you? And he was like, okay. Yeah. I built him.
Real life Barbie.
I just, I was like, why go back out and search for another job? One, it's COVID. Two, you're 60. Like, do something for yourself for once. Yeah. And so I helped my dad build his job, WJ Tuttle Landscape and Design.
Wow.
His website. I helped him build out his social media and just create just like that publicity around like people needing, patios, walkways, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Go to my dad.
My dad's got you.
Yes, your dad's got you.
She's always on, honey. She's always on.
Yeah,
Look at her. But one thing I admire though is you are a Jill of all trades, right? Like, because you built out. That wasn't just PR. You did
right.
social media. You did branding, personal branding.
Yes.
I mean, you're essentially. I'm a vision to the TPR. It seems like it could be like an all-inclusive. Honestly, agency, because you have a lot to provide and insight.
Yeah, I think like having those skills are really important. And I think when a lot of women reach out to me and they're like, oh, what do I need? Writing, I think, would be number one. You got to really make sure you know how to write. And I think there's tools out there nowadays that can help assist. I would say, secondly, like social media, like knowing how to take the right photos, knowing how to use the right aesthetic, I think is really important. I would also say knowing your tools. Like I use Canva a lot. I use Wix for a website. Like just like if you're growing your personal brand, you got to know like how to use these networks and avenues.
Yeah.
In these tools. Yeah.
I guess a girly that's maybe starting off, maybe low budget. She's starting off. Maybe any advice for them that are like budget friendly?
Yes.
Maybe some things they can add in their toolbox.
Yeah. I believe Canva is there are softwares out there that like can give, whether that's like a discount code or something like that. Honestly, if your friend utilize, so I have my friend's Canva. So
Same.
my Canva. Reach out to your resources, everybody, and just ask. And honestly, they will hopefully pass it along.
Yeah.
I would
That's
say.
so funny, Vic. That was the most PR answer. She literally your network, your network.
Use your network. They will help.
I mean, I think that's so important. Even asking, being able to ask for help, right?
Oh
Not
my
feeling
gosh.
scared to ask for help.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that is, again, going back to being vulnerable and asking for help. I remember during my first 6 months starting in my PR career, I reached out to this one woman who was in PR for a very long time. And she pivoted. She's a mother, so she's no longer active as a PR person. And I said, can you please read this pitch for me? Like, I don't know if I'm doing this right. Like, I don't even know how I should be sending it. And I just remember she helped me walk me through it, and I was able to land that piece in Boston Magazine. And I was like, oh my God, like we did it. So really reach out and ask for help, especially early on, because like I'm still learning. Like you said, I'm 25, so I can't sit here and say like, I know everything, but I am working towards that. And that's the only way is by asking for advice or, hey, how can I do this differently? And stuff like that. Yeah. Very important.
That's something to really admire about you. But I feel like your age even is your strength, because you, in terms of experience, one, you put yourself out there. The fact that you even thought to reach out to your professor and then do her PR pitch, and like, one, you saw the need for your dad. Like, I feel like maybe it could be your age too. Like you had the time and you were able to really utilize and you captured and really created something great. So only age ain't nothing but a number, but you have been gaining your experience.
Yeah.
By putting yourself out there.
Yes, absolutely. You have to put yourself out there. I always have that mentality of like, all right, well, there's a lot of people out there probably doing the same thing that I'm doing right now. Well, how can I be better? I have that like competitive side.
Yeah.
You kind of need it. You need it. You got to rise above.
I mean, we know because this girl right here, she works hard.
Yeah, she's a really. We'll get into that.
We'll get into that.
I'm just gonna do a quick little stat drop, right? According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistic, the demand for PR specialists is expected to grow 6% by 2032. Honey, your services are booked and busy, honey. Okay,
love to hear that.
It's faster than the average for all occupations. So, and 71% of the PR pros are women. So, proving this is a female-driven industry with massive impact.
Yeah.
So with that, it brings me to get into our next segment here, built, not bought, and especially highlighting vision to the TPR. So what inspired the name and what inspired you to start Vision to the TPR?
Vision to the TPR just started this year. I realize I'm 3 years into my career. I have always dreamt as a little girl to just be my own boss. I never really saw myself reporting to someone else, even though I know that's how to build yourself, right?
Yeah.
But I've always felt that I can do this, and I can do this, whether that's with the team or on my own. And so Vision to the TPR, so VT, my initials. I needed it. I was like, I needed that in my branding so much. And honestly, like, I always love like bringing, like, seeing someone's face light up when their like vision is actually brought to life. Best feeling in the world. And like, that's really what I want with Vision to the TPR. Bringing the vision.
You bring our vision to life, girl.
We get into that.
Let me slow down.
But yes, let's just say Vic brings whatever vision you have to life.
To life. Well, I want to know too, when did you decide to start your own agency? Like, was there a time? Give us
a moment that you like, you shifted
like a
your
light bulb.
Yeah.
What was it for you?
I felt momentum coming. I had started noticing people were reaching out to me, and not even to have me hire me or anything like that. I was noticing like a lot of people were seeing me on LinkedIn. A lot of people were seeing me on social media, asking a lot of questions. And then finally it started turning into, I can probably use you. How can I connect more with you? And I'm like, right now I'm just Vic Tuttle, but let me get back to you. And so I sat down with myself and I'm like, is it time? Like, is it time to start like actually providing PR services? And so I would say this year, like 2024, 2025 was really like the momentum.
Pivotal.
Yep, it started.
And when you could feel it kind of coming.
Yes, it really did. Like, and again, 3 years out of post-grad, like I really didn't see it coming this soon. Quick, this quick.
But that speaks volumes because your names are in rooms in Boston that you don't even know that's being spoken about. I mean, I'll get into this very shortly, but like the fact that I reached out to you and it was like a coincidence and I reached out to her to, for Baddie Besties. So you're being noticed.
Yeah.
So crazy.
I know. Like,
yes, girl.
You're being noticed. So you're really building a brand for yourself, but your work also speaks for itself as well.
Yeah.
So, she doesn't just talk the talk, honey.
She gonna walk the walk, girl.
So I wanted to hear, how do you approach branding, representation, maybe differently from maybe another PR specialist?
Yeah.
Maybe even working with us, maybe. What has your experience been like with branding and just representation, maybe even in the PR space, like when it comes to media, when it comes to just like...
I think really what's important for me, bringing it even back to like the name of like my agency, Vision to the T. Like it's really sitting down with my clients and like understanding their vision, understanding their goals, getting to know them on a personal level too is really important to me. You know, like you could go hire an agency that is like really big and have them do your PR. But really, I want that personal touch, because then when I'm writing and sending out those press releases and those pitches, or when I'm talking about you to so-and-so, I've got that passion. Like, I've got that feel. Like, I'm part of the brand. And that's how I really want it to be when it comes to, like, my clients.
Yeah. I mean, that's a huge asset for any clients to have someone in PR who has that emotional connection, who cares, who wants to bring their vision literally to life, and then can speak with passion and confidence and certainty, you know, about their clients. That's,
I think, like, for me, right, like, if I had someone approach me with, like, something with tech, right? Am I a tech girly? No.
nah.
But if you can sit there, if I can sit there with you and talk about your idea and your brand, and we can connect on that. I'm going to know about tech. I'm going to know about your brand, and I'm going to be able to pitch that in a more confident way because I see your vision, and I want to make sure everyone else sees it as well.
So I want to note this is maybe a client testimonial. One thing that I have received from you, and just in general, right? Like, if you went to hire a bigger agency, right, you may necessarily be a number or like a paycheck for them, right?
Right.
You take the vision, right? But you don't only understand the brand, but you understand the mission, the story, the why. And a lot of people do not take the time to sit there and understand it. And I mean, maybe this is a client testimonial here because we work with each other on a daily basis, but like, I genuinely feel like you care about what we're doing.
Absolutely.
And so when that passion is like something that is not bought, it's not fake, it's genuine, and you can tell like you have that passion for us, and that's the easiest way for you to maybe, you know, bring it to media as well, because there's a passion there, right?
Absolutely.
Like, you can't force somebody to be passionate or care about what you're doing.
Absolutely.
But you have that. You go the extra mile. You see like the keen eye for details, like little things, and then you're also like, I feel like you're a good matchmaker in the sense, like, you're like, no, I know this person that can connect with this. So it's like, you're really good at marrying it all together.
Thank you.
It's a great like puzzle that just, it comes together, and it's like a very complicated puzzle too. And then she finds a way to put it together
and build the picture,
and then build the picture.
Like, we have
bring the vision to
bring
the
the vision.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. That was such kind words.
Of course.
Yeah, I think like that is something that comes with just like understanding the brand. Again, like I know, oh, well, if they want this, then I'm going to have to reach out to X, Y, and Z, because that's going to make it fit, and that's going to help it launch this way. And that might take time too, you know. Making sure those puzzle pieces work, because you always want good PR, right? Like, and PR has its negative sides too, and I'm right there for when those happen. But really, it's to make sure we're up here.
100%. I guess, you know, what advice would you give to the baddies, the besties listening today? Maybe they're nervous about starting their own business. Maybe, you know, they're working a 9-to-5. They're afraid to take the leap. What would you give them that they have that passion in their heart too?
Yeah. It's okay to be nervous, and it's okay to feel very overwhelmed. You don't know what steps to take. You don't know how to start. Take some time and be alone and be with yourself and ask yourself some questions. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? That's really important. What passions do you have? What's your mission? What do you want to provide people with? Is really important of asking yourself those questions. And if you can start answering them, and then you get that excited. I got a little excited. Like, when I started, I was like, oh, this is fun. Okay, I'm liking this. And then, because it's yours.
You describe it really well. It's like that feeling, and you say
are you talking about intuition?
No, the feeling in your stomach when you're like ready.
Oh, it's like a seed.
It is.
It's a seed. It's like there's a seed planted in you, and it's just it's been there, and then it starts to like nag you, and it just doesn't shake. And then when you start to feed it, then it's like you get excited because you're like, this is the feed. The seed is coming alive. The flower is blooming.
Yes.
Like, I'm in purpose. I'm in my God zone. You know,
And that's like
I'm doing what
the
I'm meant
only
to
thing
do.
you can think about.
Yeah.
It's the only thing then it turns into is like you're up at midnight and you're like, oh my goodness, I just had this idea for like my whatever it may be, my business cards. I gotta mock it up. Like that's how it turned into for me. It was like, okay, now I need to make my website. And like, what's my tagline gonna be? What's this gonna look like? Like I just got like really into it. So getting back to that question though, like it's not easy. I'm not gonna sugarcoat like starting your own business is not easy.
No.
It's a risk. Take your time. Take your time with it.
Yeah.
It's like your baby. So you know,
It is
there's
like
going to
your
be
baby.
there's going to be different stages of its life. And when it's early on, it's going to be difficult, but just be patient, really.
Yeah.
And again, ask for help, ask questions, network.
Yeah.
Love it.
I guess, not to put you on the spot here, but maybe if there's something like maybe a potential client listening or customer, if they had to hear maybe one thing about Vision to the T PR, what would you tell them?
Ooh, I would tell them that I'm here to hear your story and I'm here to bring it to life. And I'm here to provide services that are gonna work. Really, it might take time, but it will happen. Well, we're gonna make it happen.
Yeah.
We're gonna make it happen.
And there's no other girl that's going to do it better.
Yeah. You know, and Vic, I think it's so important. I think with PR, there's so many PR people out there, right? For example, right? But you can always end up with someone that doesn't care about you or puts you at the bottom of their list of clients and doesn't actually connect with you and have that heart. And I mean, we know you personally, and Vic has a heart, has the deepest heart, the realest heart, and it shows in all of her work. It shows in her relationships. It just shows in how she moves through her life in every category.
Yeah.
So that takes me through even how we met, Vic, and moving on to a new segment, the Baddie Linka, our PR journey together.
Yes, so blessed.
I know, we are so blessed to be together, and I know Samira is actually the one who reached out to you, so I'll pass over the reins to her.
Yes. So again, I'm not going to get into the weeds of why I reached out, but something called me to send her a DM, and I think we looked at the date like recently. It was like February. What was it? 6th, 7th, around early February, and then we actually set up the meeting for the end of February, and then she was onboarded maybe that week. And I would say within maybe 2 weeks, she landed us on the hub for Women's History Month for this exact segment you're listening today for Hey Barbie. Made it on, NBC 10. So I just wanted to say maybe what was your first impression of Baddie Besties, and maybe what made you feel like, this could be, because I think too, with PR agencies and being a PR, like it also has to be kind of a good fit as well.
Absolutely.
Right? Like,
yes.
So just curious, what made you feel like we were a good match? I know it's a perfect match like the Netflix show, but
yes. I think the word that you just said, that little intuition, like that feel, I immediately went on your guys' page and I was like, Baddie Besties. Ooh, this is different.
Baddie Besties.
Yes.
It's your bestie.
It's your bestie.
So cute.
And I loved that, it was two beautiful young women who were around my age. And I was like, I understand them. They're trying to launch here, just like me. I want to help them. And when you reached out, I was like, okay, I don't know how, but let's connect and let's chat how we can make this happen. And I just instantly knew. We met on Zoom, and I was like, oh,
it was like the energy.
I could just talk to you guys for hours, really. Like I didn't want that Zoom call to end. I was like, let's keep going.
I felt the same way.
But I just have to say, like, you were very professional. She had a deck ready. You were like everything
a branded deck, child.
Yeah, it was a branded Baddie Besties pink.
That was like my favorite thing ever to create. I was having so much fun with that brand deck. I was like, I've got this idea. I want to do this, and you guys were just like. I even think like I overwhelmed you maybe a little bit. You can be honest. Like I was like, I want this for you guys, and you guys were like, okay.
we were like, how we haven't met yet, but she knows exactly what we want. Like your deck was literally what we have been talking about and what we like wanted to bring to life, and it was branded and beautiful, and how had seen. So it was a no-brainer.
It's so crazy because I feel like PR, like a PR agency, isn't enough to say what you do, at least for us.
Yeah.
Like you really are, and I keep saying this, like a Jill of all trades, but you're really like, you bring everything together. Maybe
I would say the glue, but more. She's even more than the glue. Though.
Yeah. So it's like for any business, I feel like is bringing the vision to life, and that is more than just PR, right? Like it could be the branding, it's a lot of different pieces.
How you market it. You know, some people I think kind of intertwine marketing and PR. They are very different, but sometimes they overlap. And I feel like that's an important tool to kind of understand.
Yeah.
You know, like how are the numbers doing, and if they're not doing well, like how can PR help with that?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I know we were talking about that, like on a number side, whether that's followers, that stream, whatever it may be, like how can we help?
Yeah. For us too, I feel like anything that we have, anything Samira and I are discussing and working through, we are able to bring Vic into the conversation, and she works with us on everything that we're essentially working on. And you know,
that comes with trust too as well, because I feel like your expertise, I know she's always like, I'm 25. No, honey. She has a level of expertise that
way past
it's
25.
like,
and then everything from being young, I feel like social media experience, for example, or understanding of social media marketing and, you know, the times nowadays.
Oh yeah.
Right?
It's changing. It's changing.
You need to be in with the times. You need to be following with the trends.
Yes.
Especially if you want to grow.
Absolutely.
I want to ask you, what were some of, we have a lot of projects in the pipeline, but maybe what is like some of the ones that are in the pipeline that are potentially your favorite, or maybe what's your favorite to work on?
Okay.
And
for Baddie Besties.
For Baddie Besties, and maybe you can just drop any that you have in the pipeline.
Well, for us,
yes.
I love reflecting. So, like, we had our first event, and I think that will forever live in my heart because that was our first ever launch event, and it was very successful.
Very successful.
So putting that together was a blast. Yes, is it grinding? Putting on an event is
it was a grind.
Is a grind.
Yeah.
But when it's over and done with, and you look around and you see the smiles on people's faces, you hear people talking about Baddie Besties. You hear, when's your next event?
That's when you know.
You did it.
You did it.
You did it. You did it.
Yeah.
And that just like, I get goosebumps because like really like that's why I do this. That's my purpose, is like I just want a Baddie Besties to be heard, to be seen, and understand how I see it. I want other people to see it just the way I do.
Okay, but tell me too. So we're gonna get into this shortly, but maybe I know you work with other different. You're in hospitality as well. Is there some fun projects or events you have up your sleeve or in the pipeline?
Yes, I work for a hospitality group here in Boston. I've been with them for 3 years, and it's been an amazing ride. I would say with them, I've set goals for myself this year. We're a company that is growing, and so how can I grow with that, and how can PR grow with that? And I'm trying to land them nationwide in some big publications. And that is going to be my goal this year for the hospitality side.
Love that.
Yes.
Y'all make sure you guys, it's coming out soon. It's right off
in the works. It's in the works.
I love that.
Thank you.
I guess too, I would say, what's your vision for maybe where we're headed together at Baddie Besties? I'm just curious to hear your point of view.
What's your vision?
I think I could talk about this all night long, really. If
she gets smiling, you guys see.
I know.
So I am a person, you guys know this, I'm realistic with like how I like to set goals and visions.
Especially with us that are maybe not as realistic. It's okay, you could tell us.
Sometimes like we just like talk and like our ideas just like, ooh, it's like a snowball effect.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, but wait.
We will anchor.
We gotta like anchor that in because realistically, can we do that right now? Maybe, but like we can do this and we can do it better, and then it's gonna help us get to that bigger point.
Yes.
That's important. But I would really say for Baddie Besties this year, I really would love to see us being landed in a very well-known Boston publication. Not just any, I want this to be like, who is Baddie Besties and why you should be following. That needs to be landed, and that's in the works. I know, I don't know if we're going to be allowed to really say this, but we've got some really great events coming up.
Yes.
Yeah.
For the community and for the women in our community. And I think that it's going to be really special, and I feel as though it's going to spread the word. The word is going to be spreading about Baddie Besties, and what we do for the community is really going to be impactful.
Exactly.
Yes.
I mean, we'll let everything come out as they come out.
Yes.
But one thing about us, and I think we've become a powerful team of three.
Yes.
Three but mighty. Is our goal. We come here and we can yap. But at the end of the day, it's how can we impact and serve women?
Yes.
And we love coming on here, and we love being a podcast, but we love serving the community. And through these events, we've been able to empower women. We've had, somebody from the mayor's office.
Yes.
Thankful to work with March of Dimes.
Shout out
March of Dimes. We are able to really bring different resources that doesn't seem attainable, right? To women in the community, and really create a safe space to have these conversations. So, from, I guess, one bestie to another, if you're listening to this, there's a lot to gain here, and we are just really excited for you to join this ride, which it's all going to come together sooner than they think.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I think each of us have so much heart and so much vision. I think when we come together, we really care. Like, we care about the girls.
Yes.
We care about the women. Like, that's why we're even doing what we're doing to begin with, and why we're dreaming so big, and why we're putting things together and getting excited to put it together, right?
It's a lot of work.
Yeah. It's a lot of work, but worth it.
Yes, and that is why I am here, and I'm with you both today, because that is why I'm here, really, truly. I believe in what you guys are wanting.
I mean, when you have somebody like, no name dropping today, but like somebody from the mayor's office that may see your vision.
Yeah.
You're like, that is like, there's little tidbits that are like, I mean, even you probably when you started Vision to the T, right? People are like reaching out to you. It's like, okay, I got something. I gotta keep going.
You can't stop.
Yeah.
Full pedal to the metal. Like, seriously, don't stop. Keep going. Keep going. Even if you fail, you get back up and you keep going. Really.
Oh my gosh.
All right, I'm going to wrap up this Baddie Besties section here, because we're going to get into tears. We're going to get into tears, and we'll go on and on. But we're going to get into balancing the brand. This next segment here, corporate hospitality life, and also, really at the same time getting clients and bringing Vision to the T to life here. So I really want to understand your multidimensional career. So I know you're not just running your own business, you're working in hospitality and corporate. Girl, how do you do it all?
How do you do it all, babe?
I don't know. Sometimes, it's funny, like my mom, I'm very close with my family. I'm very blessed for them. I have, and my boyfriend, hey Rob.
Shout out Rob.
Shout out Rob. They ask me that a lot. They're like, how are you doing this? And you want to know what my answer is? I just do. Like, I just do.
She's just like Nike, honey.
I just do it. There's no second thought to it. It's, I don't know what's in me, but it's like this nature of never saying no. And so, I will wake up at 6 a.m. and open up my phone, and there's emails that need to be answered, and let's go. The day started.
I have to say, Vic is sending voice memos, and I'm a psycho person too that works nonstop. She is responding at my crazy self at 6:30, 7 a.m. We need to stop doing that.
Yeah.
But
I can't.
I know.
I can't.
I know. And the thing is, when you're excited about your work, it's so funny because I can hear her excitement. So I'm like, oh, yeah.
Our voices go high pitch.
I know, it'll go high pitch, and we'll get excited, and we're like, oh my gosh. Or if we'll get an email that's you know, it's like pushing us forward.
Screenshot.
So we're like, oh my God.
Yes.
This is girlhood.
Oh,
This is girlhood.
It is.
Yeah.
6 a.m. Let me tell you, when we're waking up and we're texting each other, that's how you know. But yes, I would say it is a lot. I am taking on a lot. I always tell myself, though, work hard now, enjoy later. I'm manifesting that. Like, I really am. I really believe that, like, my dad always says, like, honey, you're young. He was like, get to work. And I'm like, you're right, Dad. I'm going to work. You know, I love that. Like I said, I'm blessed. I'm very close with my parents, and both are very hard workers. And so for me, I see their drive, and I think it was built in me, really. Like, I just know that there needs to be a balance, but really, like, okay, I need to set my organization. It can always be better, but, like, I need to be organized, and I need to make sure that I'm doing X, Y, and Z for this client, and the due dates here needs to be done. If I'm, in my corporate position, like at work, my 9 to 5 at the hospitality, I'm grinding. It's like I've got these hours. Sometimes it's outside, but like we're getting it done. So and then the balance of
relationships,
life. Like those are super, super important. And I'm so blessed that I have a family, I have friends, I have a community in my life that like understand where I'm at, and they see like, oh, she's grinding. We're going to let her grind, and we're going to check in on her and support her. Like, so many of my friends show up to events and to, like, whether that's the restaurants, whether that's to my clients' events, or even just, like, checking in, being like, hey, I saw this on social media. Like, you crushed it. And I'm like, thank you.
She do be crushing. She crushes all the events.
So when it comes to mental health, I mean, it sounds like you have a great support system, and, like, you try to stay organized. So I'm curious, like, what is the most challenging for you, like while you're wearing all these hats, right? And then also, how do you feel like you're keeping your mental health together amongst all? Because I know Samir and I, sometimes we're anxious, sometimes we're not, but the work got to get done. And I know you know. So maybe what are your tips for the girls as well?
I immediately started therapy when I started working.
Wow.
I did, I always struggled with things, not always. When I turned 18, I noticed, like, I was like, oh, I'm feeling this, like, heart racing situation.
The palpitations, honey. Panic attacks.
I started realizing, I'm an anxious girly. But I went throughout college really actually fine, here and there. Then I started work. And I was like, I'm anxious all the time. Like, I think part of it might be a confidence thing, right? Like, when you're new, you don't know what's next, and you have this, like, anxious feeling of, like, what if I'm, the thoughts start racing. What if I'm not good enough? What if no one ever answers me? What if I don't ever land a client? What if I fail? And you sit in that.
Relatable. This is real. Many girls can relate to this.
And you sit in bed and you see everyone else. They're doing it. When am I going to start doing it? How can I start doing it? And so your mind races. It really does. And it's hard to get yourself out of that mindset. It really is. So that's when I knew. I was like, I'm going to get myself a therapist. And because I would bring it home and I would portray it onto, like, my relationships, whether that's with Rob or my parents. And I was like, this is not healthy. I can't be sitting here telling Rob, like, I'm not good enough. He's like, yes, you are, babe. I'm like, oh, okay. No, like, that's not, like, there's,
we get
I was like, I'm going to get a therapist. And I do really recommend if in our stages in our life, like, we're evolving, and so much is happening. In your 20s, you graduate.
Girl.
Whatever you do, you're getting a career, you're going to get your master's, you're becoming a doctor, you're, like, starting a family, being a mom. A lot happens in your 20s. And I really think you need an avenue, and that can be whether that's therapy, whether that's a coach, whatever helps you. But find that avenue for yourself, because mental health and a career, it can be tough and it can be daunting. But always find the light in, like, what you do, like, whether that is just, like, a little thing that you do with your career. Be proud of yourself, because, like, then reflect. Reflect back and see.
We're good for a good Kiki reflect.
Yes.
Yeah, we are. The reflection.
And
We don't do it
important.
as much as we should. But.
Seriously, really.
We do after big moments, but we need
should
to
do it
for the smaller ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, really, because we always overlook the small, right?
Yeah.
Because, that was like
Nothing.
nothing.
Yeah.
It's something.
Yeah.
And we have to remind ourselves that, because that will bring the passion, and that will show like, oh, you're right, I did do that.
Yeah.
I did that. We did that. And it's really important to highlight.
Yeah. And I think like recognizing, what you're doing as you're doing it helps even to build that confidence, because now you're not just always on go, you're actually taking a step to see, you kind of build like this whole long list essentially of everything that you're doing. So you can look at it and see, damn, this list is long. Like your girl been working, you know?
We
it
need
helps.
to pause and do that. I mean, even yesterday we had a huge monumental moment. We celebrated 1 year. And I'm like, today we're recording, so it feels like honestly a lifetime ago that happened yesterday. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm like, yeah, it felt like it happened light years ago, and we're already on to the next thing.
Right.
So I think that's just important for any girly that's watching this. I try my best to reflect, but sometimes I'm just so tired. I'm a tired girl. I'm a tired girl.
It's important. Make sure you reflect.
Yeah.
Yes.
You need to just pause. So that's really, really important. But there's something that you mentioned too that probably a lot of girlies, women, like they'll be comparing. I just have to say, comparison is the thief of joy.
Yes.
I know we've mentioned this a lot on Baddie Besties. Social media is a highlight reel. Honestly, I've heard this, and people say like the people that are driving the expensive cars, maybe wearing, the materialistic, all the designer, like they could be running up credit card bills. We do not know what's happening on the back end.
Absolutely.
So be true to you. Don't worry what everybody else is doing.
Absolutely agree. It is. Social media can be a blessing, but it can be a disguise. And I always say your following is a reflection on you. And I learned that in the recent past year or so, is if you're following someone and they're not really reflecting your goals and like what your vision, just unfollow, because like why sit there and be like, oh, they're out in the Bahamas on the beach right now on a Tuesday morning, like I can't relate to that. Like I'm grinding on my computer right now. Not saying that you have to unfollow, but like I just think like if you surround your social media and the people that you surround yourself
You're
with,
internalizing that.
yeah, it's important.
Yeah, you definitely have to be mindful. It's kind of like the food you're eating.
Yeah,
But it's like what you're nourishing your mind with, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're gonna get into one of our last segments here: heart and hustle, and the mission behind the brand. So we want to know what drives you on days when the work just gets too overwhelming.
I would say I'm stemming it back to my family, really. At the end of the day, when I'm drowning, I call my mom and I'm like, I need a mental check. Like I'm drowning and I just want to ask, how are you doing? Like, how's your day going? And she's like, I'm good. I'm doing good. And really like I said, like they're the most hardworking people I know. And I just want to shed light. And my mom always says, reach for the stars. And I hold that near and dear to my heart. And I'm doing it really for myself, but for them, because I just want to prove to them that like what they did throughout my whole life, a lot of sacrifices, moving me into a different school and everything like that, like it's paying off. It really is.
Yeah.
Well,
it's beautiful.
Thank you.
I think moms have a special touch. Whenever I'm feeling down, I ring my mom, especially if I'm sad or something. It's just special to have that place, and I know all of us are so grateful for our moms.
Yes.
I also want to ask you, when it comes to purpose, right? And staying connected to your purpose amidst all the overwhelming ups and downs and all the work, right? And you're growing this brand, like how do you feel like you're able to stay connected to your purpose while, growing a brand?
Yeah, I would say, the small wins, like making sure like you celebrate the small wins, and, you're always growing, and like the purpose behind it, and you're driving yourself, like there's going to be a light at the end of the tunnel, and like the purpose is going to show. So just keep working hard and you're going to see the results along the way, really, truly.
quick question too.
Yes.
So for Vision to the T PR, what impact do you want your work to have on other young women watching you?
To never give up, really. And if you have a vision, like, bring it to life, because you can do it, and you will do it. You just have to believe in yourself and have the gut instinct to trust others, and just you gotta work hard, but it's worth it all in the end. It really is.
That's beautiful, Vic.
You heard it here
you.
first, besties. All right, we're gonna have a quick, fast round here. So 1-word answers only, and we can
Okay.
call it booked or boring, or you honestly just whatever you think. So red carpet or product launch? What's your fave?
Ooh,
Like, that's hard.
that's hard.
I know.
Which is okay. Then
Okay.
you can just whatever you're calling you.
Red carpet.
She's a Baddie Bestie
She's
for
a
real.
Baddie Bestie.
You know,
I mean,
Who doesn't love a red carpet moment? Come on.
we love to get glam, get dressed up,
Please.
you know.
I would
Feeling
love to go to the Met Gala.
Yeah,
Come
feeling
on.
yourself or whatever.
I love that. All right. Pitching or posting?
Pitching. That gives me a lot of excitement.
Okay.
I already know the answer to this, but I'll let them know. Early mornings or late nights?
Early mornings.
Yeah, my girl be up with me, honey.
Yeah.
Early morning Pilates class.
Work emails on vacation, yes or no?
Yay or nay?
I would like to say no, but yes. Again,
Yeah.
like in
So
PR,
unfortunate
you're
with the
always
game.
on, so
Yeah.
it can't be avoidable. But if you are on vacation, if something isn't dire, then
Yeah.
put it to the side.
Later.
Yeah, I
But-
mean, now we're in entertainment now. It's
Yeah.
you always got to be ready.
Always got to be
There's
ready.
always, like, a
someone's
viral
calling,
moment.
you're answering.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Dream client.
Ooh.
Oh. Oh.
Manifesting.
Oh my God.
Manifesting.
Okay. Dream client. I would say for me, oh my God, guys, you really put me on the spot here.
Magic wand, if you could just, they're your
Bop.
client.
Bitty, bitty, boop.
They're your client. You got everything you need to make sure you're supporting them. Who? You'd be like, I would love this. I would lose my mind.
I think I would have to lean towards a nonprofit.
Wow. I thought she was going to say Beyonce.
She would be up on my list. I have just like a very strong passion for nonprofit.
Wow.
Really do. And I think for me, that would probably lean into whether that is like Special Olympics or something into research with cancer would really be a passion of mine.
We're gonna have to make that happen.
Right.
It's gonna happen. You heard it here
That's-
first.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
Or,
not.
for me, I think I also on a bucket list to do's one day, I would love to have my own nonprofit as well.
wow. I could definitely see that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Last question for you. One thing every baddie should have in their PR toolkit.
Ooh. Get yourself a nice phone. Get yourself a laptop. And I would say get yourself a mentor. Get yourself a good pair of sneakers.
Definitely.
And get yourself...
Which sneaker?
Ooh, I go for... I'm a Nike girl or New Balance.
Okay.
Yep.
Love it.
All white. Get yourself really familiar with PR tools, Muck Rack. Get yourself connected on all news media outlets. Subscribe to the New York Times. Subscribe to local, hyperlocal, nationwide media outlets, and get your news. Because the news is important when you're in PR.
Stay tapped in.
Stay tapped in. You got to know when X, Y, and Z is hitting the fan. You got to know if that can relate to your client at all, because then you got to jump on that. And you need to be like, oh, this is happening. Well, guess what? My client can provide X, Y, and Z for this. You're always got to know what's going on.
Okay.
Got it.
love
Thank
that.
you so much, Vic.
Thank you, ladies.
we speak about this, but it's just a blessing to be around her presence, but to also work with her.
Yeah.
So Baddie Besties is a labor of love, but you may see us in the forefront, but she is behind the scenes doing all of this. We always have to say that because without you,
we would be. Yeah,
you're the
girl.
oil running the machine essentially.
Yes,
so we appreciate you. We love you.
Love you guys. Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you so much.
And as you know, we may stir the pot.
It's gonna get hot,
but trust.
You just hit the jackpot. Okay.
Make sure you tap into Vic's socials. Everything is gonna be in the details. And make sure you like, follow, subscribe, and stream this episode. You don't want to miss it.
You know where to find us. Love you.
Bye.